Coach, DJ Harding, Chicago State of Mind. Just as you reflect on the early portion of the season, how do you envision turning like the lessons learned into wins?
I think we just got to be persistent in our approach, consistent in our approach, and staying together as a team. But I think that from an effort standpoint, from a concentration standpoint, from a attention to detail, I think all those have picked up over the last few weeks, and I think we've kind of created and bought into the standard of what we want Sky basketball to be, and now it's just a matter of being able to do that on a consistent basis, game to game, possession by possession. So persistence and consistency.
And then against Minnesota, just in the second half, your offense had some like stagnation. So just how do you think you're going to counteract that going forward?
Yeah, I think that as a whole, the offense has moved and flowed a lot better as the season has progressed. It's less stagnant possessions than it's been earlier in the season, and I think that now we're able to kind of realize that in real time and kind of adjust accordingly. And so I think it's an area that we've improved in, an area that that our players can recognize in real time and kind of make the adjustments necessary.
Hey, Coach, just a couple for you. Will we see Camila tomorrow?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. And then I know sometimes when a key player is missing, like Camila has been, it forces you to experiment with other things. And so have you found anything that you've liked in terms of how you use Angel and Elizabeth that's maybe a little bit more of a discovery over the past few games?
Yeah, I think that both have played a large number of minutes over the last few games, and we've been able to do some different things defensively, but and we found some areas offensively. It always helps when you're knocking down shots, and our guards and perimeter players have been shooting the ball pretty well the last few games, and so Angel obviously brings her own versatility no matter what lineup she's in, and then I think that her and Elizabeth have done a really good job of playing off of each other. So honestly, I think it's about more how we utilize our bench in those moments as well, to kind of give them a little bit of a break so that their minutes and their stretches of minutes aren't as high, throughout each quarter.
Hey, Tyler, could you, speaking of that versatility, what have you liked and how could you explain a little bit that playmaking role that you guys have used Angel in this year, and how have you seen her develop kind of once you gave her that green light to kind of have the ball more of her hands and play in that manner?
Yeah, I think the development has been a little bit more just the understanding of how of where it fits within the offense. It's kind of like how she can pick her spots, because we've put her in so many different areas that she hasn't necessarily been used to in recent past, but has shown the ability to be able to maneuver in those areas too. So whether it's in the low post, high post, or on the perimeter and in transition, that's the versatility that she brings, that allows us to kind of be a little bit more expansive within our offense. And so I've liked it all. I've liked her aggression, attacking from the perimeter. She can be a mismatch, so when she's at the 5 and even when she's at the 4, she can overpower a little bit, but her playmaking ability and her ability to get downhill and into the paint and draw defenders and find the open player, whether it's big to big or whether it's finding our open shooters, it's done wonders for our offense. And so I've said it multiple times, we're a better team when she's aggressive offensively, and we look forward to her continuing to do that.
And just a couple things that you want to make sure you kind of take care of without giving away the game plan, but against a team like the Mystics that their front court is a strength of theirs.
Yeah, I think their backcourt is a strength of theirs too. They have an all-star in the front court and in the backcourt, and probably one more that should have been an all-star. And so I think that our issue in the first game, we had control of most of the first half the last time we played them, and then they ramped up their pressure against us. So to answer your question, taking care of the ball is the number one point of emphasis today. They're a team that's aggressive defensively, both on the perimeter and inside, and so we got to be able to handle that physicality and handle that pressure, and hopefully that gives us a chance to maximize our possessions on the offensive end.
Coach, can you assess the maturation process that Angel Reese has gone through this season? At the beginning, just not as effective or efficient offensively, but what was it that she self-corrected in the last 5 games, averaging 17, 17, and 5?
Yeah, I think that the early part of the season we were still trying to figure out kind of who we were as a team, and I think that it wasn't just Angel that was affected by that, but I think it was the team trying to figure out how to pick and choose those spots as well. And so I think more familiarity and more just a little bit more time to develop as a team, I think has kind of opened up everything, kind of made people kind of see where their spots were. And then for Angel, is the spacing that we've been able to generate certainly helps accentuate her abilities and her talents in terms of handling the ball on the perimeter and being able to initiate offense and being able to run offense through her as well. It's I think that's kind of been where that development has been, is just the understanding of how and where she can utilize her talents within the framework of our offense. And she's been great at doing that. I think her teammates have been great at feeding off of her aggression, whether it's been as a scorer, as a facilitator, and she's done a really good job of kind of going game to game based and taking what the defense has given her.
And just one more from me, with having great voices in the league like Ariel Atkins and Elizabeth Williams, what kinds of encouragement have you seen, not only like in the press conferences but in practices, and how have they helped lead a young team?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of that is what people on the outside don't see. It's just the togetherness of the locker room and the strength of the team. And I mentioned again, there's a lot of teams who have gone through the adversity that we've gone through this year that probably would have folded by now. And so I think it just speaks to the maturity of our locker room and to the togetherness of that group. And I think that's kind of what's been able to carry us through during these highs and low moments of the season. But that's what you get with experienced vets and with rookies or younger players, who are kind of maturing day to day and being able to feed off of that leadership and learn how to be a professional and things from that standpoint. And it's all part of the culture that we want to create. And we understand here in this building that and in our locker room and organization that it's a process. It's an ongoing process. We can't expect immediate results all across the board. So we take the wins when they come, and we hopefully that translates into wins on the court. But right now it's about finding that unity, continuing to build upon those bonds. And I think that'll translate at some point.
Thank you.
Got time for a few more. We'll go to Alyssa.
I think, like, to your point that you were just saying, the chemistry has looked really strong as of late. You were kind of talking about Rachel's role in that, how she's kind of like heart and soul. I was also wondering about Angel and just like her role in connecting and motivating people. Like, how do you see her role within the chemistry?
Yeah, I think that Angel motivates through her passion to compete, her compassion to win, her compassion for the game. It's something that we all feed off of as well. And so the energy that she brings nightly, it's contagious. And so I think that's something that from her standpoint and from the leadership from our veterans, they kind of go hand in hand. And I think that together, it's made our group a really strong unit.
And then speaking of Angel, she made more WNBA history, of course, with 15 rebounds or more in 5 straight games. Just from your vantage point, how do you think she's such an effective rebounder?
I think a lot of rebounding is the will. It's something that she makes up in her mind that she is going to get that basketball, and there's not a lot that the people or teams can do about it at times. And so she's relentless on the glass. I think a lot of it is her ability and just kind of knack for establishing position when a shot goes up, and it's some of it is skill, some of it's just an innate ability to track and find the basketball. And she's one of the best to ever do it from that standpoint. So yeah.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.